So as you can see right next to me, I have an Xbox One, and I actually bought my first Xbox One a couple days ago. And if you're new to the channel, or even if you're a current viewer or subscriber, you might be like, why in the hell would you buy an Xbox One in 2023? So today I'm gonna break down a few different things and reasons why I bought this Xbox. I'm gonna talk about the first off, how I got the console, shout out OfferUp. I'll show how much I got it for. The value, the games are dirt cheap, especially the exclusives. The backwards compatibility with the Xbox 360 and of course the OG Xbox, the original Xbox. And basically me as a diehard PlayStation fan, giving the Xbox ecosystem another shot. I have not owned an Xbox probably for about 7 or 8 years. I think I had a 360 back in like 2014 or 2015 that I had sold. So I'm excited to give the Xbox ecosystem another shot. And yeah, stay tuned. This is gonna be a fun one. First off, I want to talk about how I actually got this Xbox One. I'll have some screenshots here on the screen of OfferUp and me talking with the dude. So I'll look on OfferUp quite a bit for these original Xbox One units, the launch units, just because they're typically on the cheaper side, and it's a system I've kind of wanted to check out because this came out while I was in high school. And in high school, I didn't have one of the new next gen systems. I had a PS3 still. And I ended up getting a PS4 a couple of years later on. But yeah, I've been looking at these Xbox Ones. This dude had it listed for, I think it was like 80 bucks. Like I said, I'll have it in the screenshot so you'll be able to see in like the chats I had with the dude. He was super cool. But I offered 60 bucks. It just came with the console itself, the controller, and all the cables I needed. So no games, it wasn't like a bundle or anything. Yeah, talked him down to 60 bucks. I thought that was a pretty fair deal. Cause 60 bucks, that's like a price of a brand new game. And yeah, long story short, the guy was super cool, met up with him, gave him 60 bucks. He had the system wiped. I already tested it, it works great. It's updated on that new Xbox dashboard. I think the Xbox One really is a great value in 2023 because the games, if you are a physical collector like myself, the games are dirt cheap. I actually picked up Halo 5. Unfortunately, it is in this GameStop case, and then Gears of War 4 also in this GameStop case. But these games were $2.99 a piece. And then when I bought them, it came out to some deals, so they were literally $2.69 a piece. I know if I had Game Pass, those are probably on Game Pass, but I like physical. Eventually I'll get the real cases for them. But yeah, those are two exclusives that I've been wanting to play. Like, I've always liked Halo. Gears of War was awesome. The Fable series is cool. I've wanted to give Forza a shot since that's kind of the rival to Gran Turismo, which I really like. And I'm like, hey man, if the games are this cheap, if I can get into the Xbox ecosystem for 60 bucks, I think it's totally worth it. So in terms of the value in the games and just kind of the affordability, I think the Xbox One is kind of the best, well, I shouldn't even say kind of, I truly think it is the best value game system and console at this point, because with an Xbox One, you're able to play a ton of original Xbox games, a ton of 360 games, and of course the entire Xbox One library, which may not have as many exclusives as the PlayStation library, but you still have all those third-party games like, Red Dead 2, trying to think of some other big third-party games, but tons. This generation of consoles really had great third-party games, and they'll still run and work well on the Xbox One. If you're not a physical collector, let's say you're able to pick up an Xbox One for 80 to 100 bucks, I think that's totally worth it. I think I got a pretty good deal at 60, but you can pretty much find them all day long for like 100 bucks, which even at 100 bucks, with this being a 10-year-old console almost, because it came out in 2013, I think it's worth it because you can always go the Game Pass route, which when I booted this up and turned it on and signed into my old Xbox account, I was actually surprised like how much they were shoving Game Pass down your throat. But it's like, hey, it's a monthly fee you pay, you get access to a ton of games off the bat. And like, if you're able to pick up one of these Xbox Ones, whether it's this, the S, which is the slim version, and then there's an X, which is like kind of their pro model. But yeah, if you can get one of these base models for dirt cheap and just play monthly games and have access to all those games from a small monthly charge, it might not be a bad move. Personally, I'm not a big fan of subscription services like that, so I'm physical all day. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to just checking out these Xbox exclusives like I missed. I definitely want to try Halo Infinite. I know Halo Infinite will probably not run that great on here, being I think it's capped at like 30 frames a second, but if I've been able to play Resident Evil Revelations 2 on Vita and Borderlands 2 on Vita, I think I can handle pretty much any frame rate or a game chugging along, with Revelations 2 literally crashing 3 or 4 times when I played it on Vita. So I'm not really tripping off the frame rate or games looking great. I just want to play the exclusives and see some things I've missed and go back and play some older games. So I'm super stoked for that. And another thing I wanted to talk about is, how has this console aged? I know a lot of people will talk about the base model Xbox One and they'll be like, oh my God, that thing looks like a VCR. I mean, yeah, it does kind of look like a VCR, man, I'm not gonna lie, but it doesn't look terrible. Like, you don't look at this thing, at least myself, and I'm like, holy shit, that thing's super dated. I think it looks pretty clean still. Don't get me wrong, with the glossy finishes and stuff, it is probably gonna have some scratches on it, some smudges. I already wiped mine down and I used one of the air cans to blow some dust out of it. But I mean, other than that, it looks pretty clean. It has an HDMI in and an out. I was really surprised to see the HDMI in, especially on a console, but I think the system looks pretty good. I think it's aged okay. Once again, this is me being super biased, but I really like the original PS4 look better. But this does not look bad. You're not gonna have it out in your living room or your room, and it's not gonna be an eyesore. I think it looks totally fine. And mine actually does not run that loud, surprisingly. One thing that I think some people might get, a little bit of cold feet when looking at a older, or at least a last gen system, whether it's an Xbox One or a PS4, but obviously in this case, we're talking Xbox One, is, hey, what does the future of game releases look like on this console? Like, am I buying a console and pretty much just stuck with the current library? To an extent, yeah. It does have a pretty solid library. I mean, tons of good third-party titles, tons of good exclusives like Gears of War, Halo, Forza, which I'm looking forward to playing all of those. Sunset Overdrive looks tight as well. But yeah, future game releases, I mean, you have the new Armored Core is coming out. That's getting an Xbox One release. Armored Core looks amazing. Once again, not sure how well it will run or be optimized for an Xbox One, but that's a pretty big title game still coming out for this 10-year-old console. The sports titles that are released, when a console is pretty old, like Madden, 2K, now you have the PGA golf games as well, so I'm sure those will get releases on here. I know Madden and 2K will be on here as well. Of course, it's the last gen version. But yeah, I mean, you will still get some new releases, but with this console being 10 years old, you probably got a couple of years max, in my opinion, but there's nothing wrong with that. The best part about getting a last gen console is the games are stupid cheap, whether it's a pawn shop, GameStop, who always does, the pre-owned deals, so you could build up a pretty good collection on here. But like I showed, I mean, I got Halo 5 and Gears of War 4 for, $269 a piece on that deal, which is insane because those are great AAA games. So yeah, I mean, I don't think getting an Xbox One is a bad idea by any means in 2023. I'm really looking forward to this console because it's something I missed out on. As you guys know, if you're a viewer of the channel, you know that I'm definitely PlayStation all day. I like my Nintendo stuff as well, but I'm really looking forward to just kind of seeing what I missed out on in this past generation with Xbox. I would say if you can find an Xbox One bundle for like $100, that maybe comes with a couple games, a controller or two, I'd say pick it up if you don't already have like a newer console, or if you're just like, hey man, like I'm on a budget, $100, I think it's totally worth it. Getting mine at 60, I felt super happy with. I think $60 was a great deal to experience a console that I missed out on. And if you are kind of on the fence, if you're like, hey, I'm already spending, $150, I'd say 150 is really pushing it, unless you're getting a really nice bundle. I probably would not spend more than $150 on an Xbox One, especially one of these original fat VCR base models. If you're looking at one of like the X or, the slim variant they did, yeah, you could probably go a little more, but then at that ballpark, it's like, you might as well save up and get a Series S or a Series X, or, maybe even a PS5. But if you're dead set on Xbox and you're on a budget, I think the Xbox One is a great option. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Will I get Xbox Live again? Probably not, because I'm not really, I don't really care about playing online. I'll play the campaign, the story of some of these games, and that's about it. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to going back with the backwards compatibility. One issue I have with PlayStation, specifically the PS4, was there was no backwards compatibility. Luckily on my PS5, I can go back and play PS4 games, but yeah, I would say Xbox is definitely winning in the backwards compatibility department. I know they're pretty much all in on Game Pass, so you can scoop physical games up for cheap. Yeah, that'll do it for today's video, guys. Hope you liked it. I'm really looking forward to checking out the Xbox One. If there's any titles that you think I should keep a lookout for that are a console exclusive, drop a comment, let me know. I pretty much got this console almost entirely for exclusives. So yeah, let me know if there's something you think I should play. Let me know what you think of the Xbox One. I know it didn't really compete too well against the PS4 last generation. And yeah, I know it was not nearly as popular, but that's why I'm excited to go and check it out. So as usual, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you soon with another upload.